Shikisha. Oh, Sakalage man. Shikisha. 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 Shikisha.
Away, welcome back to Let's Talk and Chill with the boy Luigi. Zakalage man bafethu. Testing. 1 2 1 2. Danko. Surely a surprise is happening. Well, don't be, because I'm not feeling so well, so I was like, let me just put on my Zaza, but in each and every situation, don't forget to put your Zaza on. So hey, bafethu, today I'm not feeling so well. I feel like I'm weak a little bit. I feel like I'm between young or something, yeah. So yeah, but anyway, that doesn't stop me from shooting another episode of the Let's Talk and Chill with the boy Luigi podcast. Yeah, so surely most of you were expecting to see me with but again, a co-host, but unfortunately still the tech issues that we are facing, they are the ones that are causing the person not to be available, because the microphones are not properly working or inclined or syncing. Yeah, well, so I'm just gonna continue with myself, and then we will see in the future what's happening, because I really want to have a co-host or somebody whom I'm going to be with on the podcast and discuss very critical issues, just like today's topics. Hey, today, what I'm going to talk about right now, it's not for the weak, guys. If you're weak, disclaimer, don't watch this one, or at least skip this part. Yeah, I don't know how long it's going to last, but at least skip it, because this one is not for the weak. Alright, especially ladies. Anyway, anything that I'm going to say here, it's educational, and if it's offensive, okay, fine, let me forget about that part. I wanted to do the disclaimer, but I'm sure you already saw it at the beginning of the video anyway. So, guys, this is like a question, but at the same time, if any one of you has a solution, please comment below. What would you do if you were the person? Like this is just a question that I saw on TikTok and Twitter as well, and I was like, okay, maybe if I bring this to the podcast, and then people must hear about this. So, guys, especially gents, how do you deal with a fish smell? I don't know if you get it, forget about. If you don't get it, forget about it. Okay, I'm kidding. If you have a girlfriend or whomever that you're smashing, and then that person, they don't smell very well down there. How do you deal with that? Do you tell them? Do you ignore that? Do you wear clip on your nose when you're fucking? What do you do? Because now this situation is very critical and it needs honesty. And a lot of gents are actually quiet about this thing because they are afraid to come out or to express this thing. No. What do we do in this kind of situation? So I don't know, guys. I just want to hear your opinions. If you have like an answer to this, if you're a lady or a gent or whatever, just comment down below and tell us, what would you do, or what do you do, or if you faced it before, what did you do? So like a lot of gents are afraid to come out of this thing on this thing, like or like their hands are smelling bad, down there. It's a fish smell, but sometimes it gets too extreme to a point where it makes you dizzy. I'm kidding, but it's very much extreme sometimes, to a point where like it's unbearable. You even like the dick falls whenever you just like smell that thing. So obviously it's not an insult to women that they smell that way, because sometimes it's natural. Actually, it's natural, they say, but there are ways they say that you can prevent that smell from coming out, or there are certain products that you can consume to minimize the smell, and maybe you can undergo some medical treatment or whatever, just to calm that smell down. So I was asking myself, hey, but what do you do, man? What is it that you do as a gent to come out of that situation whereby now you are literally unable to say anything because you don't want to offend whomever you are sexualizing with. Oyabo. So, hey guys, I'm just gonna share my opinion. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. Don't kill this podcast, guys. I just need to say this, guys. If that situation presents itself, whereby now you are faced with a challenge where you have to tell your woman or whomever you're sexualizing with that, hey, nah, man, you don't smell so well down there. I think you should tell them. It's gonna be somehow like maybe it's going to be reciprocal. Like she's gonna know what's happening. Even though maybe she might be offended, but she's gonna know what's happening, and then she'll be away. That, oh shit, so this is what's happening. So they need to take an initiative to, like do something about that. Unlike keeping quiet. But at the same time, I'm just like saying these things. At the same time, you're afraid to say it because maybe you might not get the coochie again, or maybe you don't want to offend her. Maybe you love her so much, but you don't want to offend her because I think it's you imagine someone telling you that, hey bruh, you don't smell so good down there. It's fucking like embarrassing, yeah. So, but at the same time, ladies, I think if a gent tells you that, hey bruh, like you're not smelling so well down there, I think in a way you shouldn't take offense first, but you should take a warning of some sort, like a caution. Uguti, as the age, I'm not smelling so well down there. I should do something about it. It's better that way than to take offense immediately when you're told. And then also it depends who's telling you and in what circumstance are they telling you. Because sometimes, motherfuckers can be like, you don't smell so well down there just to spite you, sometimes. But sometimes also it's got to do with the care and also maybe the worry that in as much as I love doing this with you, but you don't smell so well down there. You need to check yourself. You need to sometimes I think they say it's discharge or something, but I don't know. But that smell, guys, is not so well. I think okay, let me not say. Let me not say. But that thing is it's not nice. Because if you do, they are experiencing a lot of things in one period, because your dick might fall due to your mind being unable to focus or unable to becoming horny, because there's something very much unpleasant that is taking place and you are not able to push or to make it harder, because sometimes it might even fall even when it's inside, just because of that smell, because that smell is that horrible, guys. It's very, very horrible, especially if you're a gent. I don't know if you ladies, you can comment below if you know that this thing, you yourself can smell it. It's yours. You can literally smell it, especially those ones who you usually play with themselves before they sleep. You can smell. You can. Hey, this is what's happening. So in my suggestion and opinion, if you do know you smell that way, please check yourself or just check how to minimize the smell or eliminate it, extinguish it, because hey man, I know it's not nice. It's not nice to smell that thing. Imagine when now you're a gent and then you're smelling that thing, or you're a lesbian and then you're smelling that thing from another chick. It's not nice. It's not gonna be nice. So I wanted to pass that by. And then also, if you're a hun and then the dude that you're smashing with doesn't satisfy you, you dude, to avoid cheating and everything, according to me, I think you should tell the dude, no man, as much as we're doing this thing, I'm not satisfied, even if it's a boyfriend. This is just a suggestion. If it happens that maybe you're fucking someone or someone is fucking you or you're fucking each other, and then you don't get to the climax, you get to the semi-climax but not the climax, I think it's advisable to tell them, you are not satisfied, and then maybe you can you look for other ways to satisfy you, or maybe you can explain how do you like it, or how would you prefer it to be done unto you, because I'm talking about these things, ne? I'm avoiding this thing of cheating and everything, male besties, those things. No, no, no. I'm avoiding those things. Hore. They shouldn't take place or they shouldn't happen because a lot of factors that lead a person to cheat is being unsatisfied. It's insatisfaction. So insatisfaction in terms of certain things. I mean, because of certain things, like these ones that I'm talking about right now. So, ladies, if a dude doesn't satisfy you in bed, I'd suggest that you tell them, "Hore, no, man. You know what? In as much as I love you so much and I enjoy your company, I enjoy you, I enjoy everything that you're doing, but there's something that I don't enjoy or rather not enjoy to the climax. It's the sexual part." Tell them, and not to spite them, because most of the time, you see a couple fighting, like that horrible fight where you see, there's no comeback from this one. Like there's no get together again. And then you hear Hans saying, your dick falls, or you weak, or you are a noodle, 2 minute noodle and stuff. I really suggest that you tell them whilst things are still nice. When you're still cruising, I suggest to tell them so that you guys can work together to maybe find a way to help the dude or to help the hair. Because even actually, this, I don't know why people don't talk about this thing. Women also play part in sexual intercourse or having sex or fucking. Women also play a part in this thing because you cannot be a lazy woman. Well, like in the activity, you mustn't actually, because sex is both ways. It's reciprocal, and I usually hear people say, "I smashed her," or he fucked me or whatever. But in my understanding, this is my opinion. It's not one-way street. It's two-way street. Y'all fucked each other, Y'all smashed each other, So if you're a woman, you must also play part in fucking. Like literally be active, move, and also maybe it depends with the gents. Sometimes other gents like to be dominant, allow them, but at the same time give them that thing, we are fucking right now, not you are fucking me alone, yabo. And also, like guys, women can be also very lazy and weak, like in terms of like sex, because they don't act, they don't participate. They are like stooges, they're like torsos, like sleeping, laying down, waiting to be. Come on, guys, you women must also participate in the sexual activities whenever like you guys are doing this thing. So also you should, if you're a dude and you have a partner who is like that, who is lazy, like if you're a dude and your girlfriend is lazy, or your whomever you're fucking is lazy, or you're fucking with is lazy, tell them that, hey person, no man, you need to participate in this thing, you need to be active, you need to move like I am moving, because it's like and fit. And to look to the time you're like you're tired, you're not satisfied, you need more. So tell them to move as well to help you, yabo. Like tell them, because this sex is not only for the gents, it's also for the women. Like this is beneficial, for both parties. So you need to work together. So let's go back to the first part, guys. If you're Han, this is my suggestion. If you're Han or whomever you're fucking with, they smell so bad down there, tell them so that they can be aware, and then also you can avoid this thing of cheating and help them through the process of fighting that thing. And then if it's like uncurable, then you need to like take other steps, other initiatives to solve the solution somehow, because cheating is not a good thing, guys. I divorced, I degrade cheating, because that thing, it literally makes another human to feel less of human or less of their gender, if you're cheating on them. Just like when maybe, let's say, you're cheating on a chick, they feel like they feel less of a woman, they feel less of themselves, and they lose confidence sometimes. That's why most of these honeys out there, they're like the way they are, because most gents cheated on them, and then they made them feel like they're nothing. Yeah, or they made them feel less of women. They made them feel like they're not good at what they're doing. Yeah, so to avoid those things, if it happens that if your chick or whatever, they are not smelling so good down there and they are lazy in bed, tell them to solve it. Tell them, hey, no, you can't. Okay, firstly, you need to solve this solution. You need to solve this problem, and secondly, you need to also participate, in the sexual activities, because damn, I can't be working alone. Sex is a work, guys. Like, you literally sweat. You literally sweat to doing that activity. So it needs both parties to participate. And then also, if you're a hun and then you have a boyfriend who is who's not performing according to your abilities, or you maybe it doesn't satisfy you in bed, and you love the gent, don't cheat. Maybe firstly talk about it. I know a lot of dudes have like ego and stuff, but at least you warn them if they proceed with whatever they were doing, and maybe not even listening to you, or like trying to understand what you're coming with. Yeah, but start with telling them. If he's not performing well in bed, tell them, hey dude, no. And as much as I love you, but I'm not satisfied to the climax. Because I've seen a lot of marriages being destroyed because of sex, just because of sex in Japan. Obviously the other one will go try to find that thing out there, and then when they get it out there, that's cheating, obviously. And then obviously, like, goes about my complications. So I really suggest, guys, to communication with your partner. It must be one of those vital things that you are using to keep your relationship going. Communication works, and also respect. I think also, if you tell them in a respectful manner, most definitely they'll listen to you, and they will maybe take an initiative to solve the particular problem. So that's what I wanted to talk about on the first topic. So now we are heading to another one, of which it's not that it's common, but most people haven't experienced it. So it's not a fact, but it's common. It's not a fact, but it's true. It does happen. I'm drinking water. A bowl of water. The British accent. Guys, there's this thing called tribalism, whereby a certain probably tribe, because I only know 3 tribes. No, 2 tribes. Yeah, I only know 2 tribes here in South Africa of the black people, which is the Nguni and the Sotho. And the Nguni includes Amandebele, Amazulu, Xhosa, and Swati people. And then Sotho includes Basotho, Pedi, which is Northern Sotho, and then Tswana. I'm not sure about Venda and Tsonga, but I think they fall under the Sotho tribe. So they call it tribalism, but I'm just gonna use the word tribalism for the sake of understanding. But these particular people, I think they are same thing, because obviously tracing back from history, all black people who are in South Africa right now, they are from the East Africa. They are Bantu speaking people, and then when we got here, we were divided, obviously, due to locations and preferences, probably. Then there became Gunis and there became Sothos. But in our languages, I'm sure we do understand each other sometimes, on certain words. So tribalism is, I don't know where this thing came from, but it's one of those detrimental things for a nation to have, just like South Africa having diverse languages and cultures. I am going to specifically say Zulu and Pedi, because these two somehow they are competing. We are the dominant ones, and we are the this, we are the that. I've never, obviously there are Ndebele tribalists. Okay, whatever. Like the Akona Mandebele a tribalist, Akona Swati. Especially when you are in their area. Guys, that thing, it's very foolish to me. Why would you even have that kind of a mindset? Where now you're dominant over the other people, or over other people. Like, why would you think that your language or your tribe they say. It's dominant than the others because there is no such thing. And if also you trace where did these tribes come from, you'd be surprised that actually we come from the same ancestors. Obviously, okay, for example, ngenzi example amandebele before kuzoba noZulu kamalandela, I think it's Zulu kamalandela or something, and then namaXhosa, namaswati, all these people were one thing. And then Umusi came out of that Nguni tribe, before there was Zulu. And then forgotten the legend of amaXhosa, the one who created amaXhosa language or in whatever. Before Guzobana the window one, we were one thing. And then Musi came out, and that dude came out as well. And then Uzulu, it's a surname actually. It's a surname. It's not Sky, whatever, whereby now there's like supernatural humans. No, it's a surname. And then came out Umusi, came out that dude, came out the other one from Maswati. And then, that's how these 4 languages became. And then they came Amandebele, they came amaXhosa, and then amaXhosa divided themselves into Mampondo, Bondomisi, Mahlubi, amaXhosa, and then the other ones. Amandebele, theirs is interesting because ours, because Amandebele, they are very much interesting because within Amandebele, it's very much similar to Xhosa's. Kuna division of how things are done in certain activities, and also the language that you speak, it's similar, but kunamandebele wase Limpopo, and then namandebele wase Letlane, amandebele wase Middelburg, amandebele wase Zimbabwe. But that was Zimbabwe, they are different from us because they came later in the times of Shaka, because who's this guy? Bulawayo was a warrior. He was I think he was part of the army of Shaka Zulu, and then something happened between him and Shaka Zulu. And obviously Shaka Zulu, he impales people. So I think that guy ran away from Shaka Zulu from being impaled. I think he betrayed him or something, and then he ran with his family. And then up there he went until he came here until he reached Gauteng, of which there were Amandebele here, and then I think he adopted that name and became Ndebele. But he didn't stay here. He moved north until he reached Zimbabwe, where there are Shona people there, and then he created his own nation, and then he called it Amandebele. But now Pexisa Tinas before there was Zulu. He came out when there was already Shaka Zulu. But there's a difference. So if you listen to the language, and then our language is different as well. Like, it's not totally different, but you can hear, okay, these people are not the same. And as much as they speak similar, they're not the same. Because obviously, Mazulu pelalao. Amandebele wase Zimbabwe, Mazulu. Amandebele wala Tinaga si Mazulu. Smanguni Tina. But they're not Amazulu. Because Lawa wase Zimbabwe. Apume in the times of Shaka Zulu, which means there were Zulus already. So Lawa Mazulu, Tina si Mazulu, Tina Smandebele. But obviously, we are Ngunis, which means make us one. Alright. So tribalism, guys, it's very much foolish to me because we are the same thing. We can't try to be dominant over other nations. Those times ended long ago. Shaka Zulu did those things, and then his time ended. Now we are living in another century whereby we have to respect each other. We have to respect each other's cultures. And if you are willing, if it's in your interest to know other languages, just like I am interested in learning other languages, you can learn. There is no barrier from that, because even in schools, even online now, you can learn other languages. I used to teach Ndebele online. So you cannot think that you are dominant. Even when I'm a Swati or Ramandebele, they meet. They cannot be tribalists. I don't know if it's tribalistic or whatever, but they cannot hate each other just because Tinas Mandebele Bonama. You can't. That's ridiculous. You cannot do that because it doesn't make sense. It's stupidity. That's I'm calling it foolish, because it goes along with not knowing or not understanding what's happening or who you are. Because if you're in Ndebele and you're hating Amazulu, then that doesn't. It's very stupid, because now you are hating on yourself, basically. Because remember, we came from the same ancestors. So imagine your kids hating each other just because the other one speaks another language and the other one is speaking another language. It doesn't make sense. It's very ridiculous. So in my opinion, I believe that tribalism is the same as, or it's similar to racism, because even when I was studying racism, I was trying to understand where this thing came from and what is it about. It's actually not about the skin color per se. It's about dominance. It's about a certain race, they say, because now I don't believe in races. I believe in one race, which is human race. But anyway, it's got to do with a race wanting to be dominant over the other race. Because when I was doing my research on what is success according to the Westerns, success according to the Westerns is dominance, is power, it's wealth. Yeah, bro. So obviously in their minds already they want to have those things, but obviously right now not all of them are like that. But back then, because even if you remember, like the but again, it's not the wars, but it's kind of for battles. Yeah, I don't know if they are tribe battles or whatever, but there were battles whereby after a particular kingdom won, they will enslave the one that they conquered, and then that thing became dominant until a particular country wanted to dominate the other country, and then when they dominate it, obviously they will dominate it and then take over and then enslave the people from the country. And then also, because they didn't start by enslaving Africans, they started by enslaving themselves among themselves, and then to see that, which means there's more to this world than they knew, and then they started to dominate others, because obviously they were not speaking the same languages. The Westerns, there are Germans who speak another language, there are English, which means like English, it came even like 500 years ago. English, Scottish, a lot, like Spanish, those ones. So they dominated each other, they conquered each other, and all those things. And then now, since they knew, okay, now we have power, like they understood their power. Now they were like, okay, let's exercise this power on the weaker nations. And then when they discovered that there's Africa, even though they didn't discover Africa, but they realized that, there's this other continent called Africa, but obviously, tracing from history, it was not Africa before. It was Algabulan, which Algabulan what was named. It was actually named by the northern people. I think it's Egyptians or Libyans, but it was on the north, Algabulan, and then by the descendancy and the distribution population of people, Algabulan name continued until I can't remember until where, but African name came up, because African name I've explained on my previous episode that where did it actually come from. But anyway, so they discovered that there's a country called a continent called Africa, and then they checked how these people do things, and then they discovered that no, actually we are more peaceful. Our view on success, or our view on success is more about living in harmony, living peacefully, So theirs was like conquering. So they did what? They conquered Africa. They started to colonize Africa and stuff like that. So that thing, it's like, I'm saying this because I'm trying to remind you where the racism didn't start by like the color of the skin. No, it was more about dominance. Dominance of a particular race. So now they wanted to exercise their power, and then what happened. Yeah, so obviously it is taught. This thing is even made. It's taught. No white child is born racist. No black child is born tribalist. Or tribalistic. This thing is taught. You teach, and then it sinks in, and then it starts to make sense. And then when it makes sense, you exercise, or you apply it, and then now it continues. Yeah, so racism is something. It's got to do with dominance. It has nothing to do with the color of the skin. But now, due to evolution, this is my opinion, by the way. Due to evolution, it came to a point where it becomes more about the color of the skin. But it's no longer about that only now, because even Asians, in as much as they are white, even white, pale, whatever. Yeah, let's use white for now. Even when they are white, like Chinese, Russians, and these other ones, but they're still being discriminated by the ones who are considering themselves whiter than the others, or not dominant than the others. You see, Wuti, this thing is no longer about the color of the skin. Racism is not about the color of the skin, in my opinion. This is my observation and my study. It's got to do with dominance. Which tribe or which race wants to be dominant than the other? And then they start to exercise their power, they abuse it, and then, the racism comes about. Because I understand the part of Middle East, like the Arabs and stuff like that, because their color is almost in between. It's like color Rishiana. It's black and white at the same time. But what about the Chinese? What about the Russians? Because they do experience racism as well, So it's got to do with dominance. That's why they even exercise dominance in those countries that they conquered. Even in Brazil, when Christopher Columbus went there, he exercised dominance, and then he conquered Brazil, and then he made it his own. Right now, Brazil doesn't speak its native language; it's speaking Portuguese. So, Portuguese is from Europe, and it goes along those ways. So, along those lines, guys, I believe that if you change your mind, you think about this thing thoroughly. You think about it. Why must I be dominant than the others? You in my opinion, I believe you'll reach to a point where you see that, or it also depends with morals. You'll see that there is no need to be dominant than the others. There is actually no need as a tribe or as a race, whatever, to want to be dominant than the others, because human beings were meant to coexist, and they were meant to live with each other in harmony. Not this thing that is happening whereby now there's a race that wants to be dominant than the other or wants to rule the whole world. So if you look at this thing in a very sobriety state, you'll understand that no, actually racism, tribalism, these things are created. A particular person in South Africa decided to create a delusion of Amazulu being dominant than the others just because they own or they dominate a particular province by themselves. But if you check, also Amaxhosa in the Eastern Cape, they dominate a particular their province on their own. But I'm not saying Amazulu, all of the Amazulu. Yeah, let me just clear this. Not all of the Zulus are tribalistic. Definitely not. That would be stupid if someone says that. Not all of the Zulus, but those ones who are tribalistic. In my opinion, you are exercising foolishness. And also, you are exercising what we were fighting for, or our ancestors were fighting for in the apartheid times. Because right now, we're not exercising your power over other tribes just because you think that your nation is powerful than the others. No, that's not true. And also remember that whomever you're trying to suppress, you are literally suppressing yourself, because remember that tracing us from history, we are the same thing. We are coming from the same ancestor. I hope it makes sense. So obviously not all of the Zulu speaking people are tribalistic, and also not all the Pedi people are tribalistic, because there are Pedi people who are fucked up to the core, whereby they think that if you're not speaking Pedi, you are not a human being. There are such people, and I say the same thing that I said to the Zulus, saying the same thing even to Xhosas, because there are Xhosas that I've met who are also tribalistic, and I warn you, and I say to you that it's not wise. It's not wise. It doesn't make sense. It's stupidity. And also, if you are having that kind of a mindset, thinking that another human from another language or whatever, it's not human or whatever, just know that you are exercising foolishness. I hope I make sense. So guys, obviously, I was not insulting anyone. I didn't even insult anyone. Foolishness is just a common word of which is allowed to be used freely. Even Google does type it or on its subtitles. Yeah. So guys, it's also important to accommodate other people. Yesterday, I was walking down here on the street. Guys, Central Business District is clear, especially Jozi. It's clear, Goti. Now uhamba lamelo uhambe kahle. Uhambe like accommodate abanye. Imagine umuntu ohamba so endleleni lapho ungaka. Naye waphakamise izandla ceda ahambe kancane. Ukhosi convoy la emuva la. Hey guys, I was pissed yesterday. I almost swore to that woman. She was walking like ahambe ngamaboom. That was deliberate. I could see this is deliberate. It's not that she can't see us behind her, and even if she can see us, she knows that behind her there's definitely someone coming. So she needs to like give them the right of way, but she didn't. Come on. Hey, lo muntu lo wenzani manje. And like singaksi 8 simlandele emuva and she's deliberate nangithi ngiza ngapha. And I'm like, what's happening? You know, so I mean, I'm not the type of person who likes confronting people in that sense, whereby but I will confront you. But yesterday I decided to keep quiet because I was trying to avoid unnecessary drama, because I could see from her or she's deliberately doing this to evoke some things, or she's trying to start something offish. I'm sure she was not gonna be able to handle, but to avoid drama and everything, I was like, let me just keep quiet and relax and go back to my corner and then wait for her to decide otherwise. And she didn't. She eventually, like, obviously because there was an opening that we could use as pedestrians to but I was like, I'm gonna talk about this on my podcast because I didn't feel okay about this thing, and there are a lot of them who are doing this thing. I've experienced this thing for a long time. It's just that I just didn't take it to hate, but now yesterday it was like nah. This thing needs to be addressed, guys. Nanhambe CBD, even if it's Pretoria, Durban, Cape Town, Joburg, wherever, accommodate other people. That's not your road. Indlela yabantu le is pedestrians, not your road. It's not made for you. It's made for us all. So nasihambe endleleni usi-accommodate, ungacabanga indlela le yakho yasekhini. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, guys, that's what I wanted to talk about today, which is the first topics that I talked about and the tribalism one, because yeah, it really touched me. Hey, the Capitec app. Capitec users are fucked. You guys are fucked. Obviously, I wanted to raise this as well because I was looking at Facebook and Twitter. There are accounts that are impersonating Capitec. So whomever saw those posts whereby someone like the post says it's not like you have millions and stuff like that, all those things that were not morally or ethical, yeah, just know what those accounts are not from Capitec. Actually, if you double check Twitter it does show the name, the username, and then it shows the account name. So if you see it's written Capitec on the username, and then you double check also the account name, you see it's two different names. So you should just take caution that it's people who just want to entertain people or who just want to cause havoc on the social media with the case of the Capitec app going down. So I urge you all to be cautious and to be aware that there are people who are actually deliberately trying to cause stress for other people concerning the app of Capitec. Even on Facebook, if you don't believe what I'm saying, go check it now. All those accounts that were saying those stuff about the clients of Capitec, just go and check now. Does it really reflect Capitec, or it was just a stunt from somebody who was bored at their bed? So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Luigi Zakalage Manche. Let me take them off so you can see that I'm okay. I'm not high, I'm not drunk, I'm just not feeling well. So this whole entire time when I was wearing Zaz, I was feeling like a superman. I was feeling so well. Okay, so yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you subscribe, you like, you comment whatever your opinion is. Obviously, don't swear at me or don't swear on the podcast. Just comment or your opinion on whatever I talked about earlier. So without any further ado, Danko bafethu. This is Luigi Zakalage Magic. Testing 1 2 1 2.